Let's look at how ChatGPT can be used to analyze stocks. We'll open up the ChatGPT interface in Chrome. We'll start by asking for stock data for the last 180 trading days. We'll look for the symbol GOOGL or Google, which has performed pretty well lately, even in a tough market. Let's enter our request, write some code I can use to retrieve stock prices for Google. Give me open, high, low, close, and volume for the last 180 trading days. Save the result in a CSV file. ChatGPT responds by writing code that will use the Y-Finance package to get our data. Y-Finance is a Python package that allows us to programmatically access the Yahoo Finance site. This is so much better than trying to scrape the site for data. We'll need to be sure to install that package when we run our code. Let's copy the code and open up PyCharm. I'm using PyCharm Community Edition, the free Python IDE from JetBrains. I've already got a project open, so let's right-click on the project name and create a new Python file. We'll call it stockdata.py, and let's paste in the code we just generated. In the import statement, the Y-Finance package is red, so let's fix that by clicking on it and selecting Install Package Y-Finance. In the background, PyCharm will use pip to install the package in our virtual environment. It takes just a moment, but we get the message, package is installed successfully. PyCharm takes a moment to index the new package, update the interpreter, and do some other housekeeping chores. We'll speed up the video since this part's boring. All right, great, no more errors. So let's run the code by right-clicking on the stock data file and selecting the run command. Wow, that is really fast. It creates a new CSV file for us that we can see in the project panel. Let's open the file and take a quick look at the data. We see our CSV data. It includes the column headers of date, open, high, low, close, and volume, just like we'd expect to see. Now that we have the data, let's open up ChatGPT and send it our file for the data analysis. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Because I pay for the tool, I have access to a few additional features. I'll open up the sidebar, go down to where the three dots are located, then click them. Select Setting and Beta, then Beta Feature. Let's turn on the code interpreter. Notice the message that says, try a version of ChatGPT that knows how to write and execute Python code and work on file uploads. So you might wonder why I didn't run the code in ChatGPT instead of PyCharm. That's a great question. Right now, ChatGPT can't access external libraries such as Y-Finance to use, so it wouldn't be able to execute the code it generated. Clearly, this is a safety measure to prevent the tool from running arbitrary code that users might upload. Now let's go back to ChatGPT and open up a new chat window. Let's select GPT-4, and rather than default, let's select Code Interpreter. Notice when we do, we get a plus indicator down in the chat window. That's our hint we can upload files, so let's do that. We'll click on the plus button. Let's drill into our PyCharm project and upload the CSV file we just downloaded. It will be under Users, Brian, PyCharm Projects, and then ChatGPT Project, and there we see our CSV file. Let's click that to upload it. In our prompt, let's write, using the attached file, draw a stock chart using candlesticks and volume bars. ChatGPT starts off by giving us a play-by-play of the work it will be doing. We could have refined our prompt to turn all this off, but it's fine for now. As it does its work, a green drop-down box will appear. It will show the message working as it performs its tasks. At any point, we can click Show Work to see what's really going on. So the first thing it did was read our CSV file to make sure it could parse the data. Looks good. Now it's going to tell us about the data that it found. We can click on the Show Work dropdown to see the Python code it generates as it plots our data. Notice there's an error message. We can't find the MLP finance package, so we'll have to generate our chart in a different way. Notice it doesn't just give up and stop. It continues on, which is very cool. He decides to use matplotlib instead and goes back to work. We can watch as it generates that code too. There's an error message. I'm not really sure what that means, but it's still running, so let's see what happens. And it's done. Just like that, we see our candlestick chart of Google. It even color-coded things without the need to ask. Notice one thing is weird. The dates are from 1970 instead of current. So clearly it didn't parse the date data correctly. But otherwise, this is an accurate chart of the last 6 months of Google stock. Let's see what else it can do. Let's ask it, add 20 and 50-day moving averages to the chart. It goes back to work. It's creating more Python code to update our graph. And in just a moment, we see the moving averages we asked for. Now let's see if we can analyze the chart for entry points. We'll ask, look at this chart like Mark Minervini would. Identify any VCPs and indicate them with arrows. For those of you who don't know, Mark Minervini is one of the greatest stock traders of all time. He developed a technique called VCP, or volatility contraction pattern, that helps to identify stocks under consolidation that might be ready to move higher quickly. The information is reflected in the price and volume action, so identifying them is a valuable skill to have. ChatGPT gives us a brief description of VCP and Mark Minervini and then goes to work. It indicates 2 possible VCPs. Since the dates are messed up, I'll have to point to the arrows as we zoom in. The first candidate looks good. The volume comes in, the price action is tighter. All of this is right before a couple of big green volume bars, and the stock jumps from 95 to over 120, more than a 25% move in a short time. The second VCP it indicates is not a great setup. The stock does tighten up for one day, but the characteristics aren't really there, so this is definitely not a classic VCP. It's really exciting to see the ability to upload data files for analysis now. It will open up a whole new world of possibilities for data analysis. Leave a comment below and let everyone know how you'll use ChatGPT to analyze data. Thanks for watching, and remember to always begin secure.